Mama.
Hello, everybody. It's Mr. First Down here, your favorite Titans fan, and welcome to Pigskin Perspective. We're about to talk some Tennessee Titans with our special guest, April Bailey. I'm not even going to try the middle name. She's told me how it's pronounced, but I'm not even going to do it. So let me get the intro out of the way real quick. Welcome back, everybody. That was amazing, April. I don't know how you did that. I was like, oh, she's gone. This is it. Anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. With me forever is my co-host, Brandon Noseball. He knows ball, too. He is here with us. And we have our first guest ever on Pigskin Perspective. It is Miss April Bailey, contributor of the What's Shaking Titans and another wise mind to have, and she's going to shake us up as well. How are you this evening, Miss April?
I am doing amazing, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, no problem. We're happy to do it. We will start to bug you with questions now. Okay. These are no softball. These are hardcore questions. We're gonna show pictures of you at an Arizona resort with an unnamed coach. And
okay,
we'll have to be answered.
Name that coach.
Name that coach. Yeah, who was it? Anyway, so we'll go ahead and get this started. So we all saw the draft, and we all saw everybody either flipping out about the draft or absolutely happy with the draft. How do you feel about the Tennessee Titans draft this year?
I am actually very pleased with it. I did like that we got Cornell Tate and we ended up with 2 first-round picks still, and I thought that was an amazing job. Well done by the GM.
Yeah, Borgo is the man. We are big fans of Borgo here. Mr. Knowles, how did you feel about the draft overall? I didn't get to ask him this either. So
no, I was actually very pleased as well. I thought the biggest difference in this draft was everybody asked about, okay, we moved up, we moved back, and we lost picks. But if you really think about it, we didn't lose a whole lot. And the value we got for the picks was far different than how it was when it was the other drafts where we just kept kind of throwing picks away when we needed them. So I think Borgo handled this a lot differently than the regimes before and still got us the key players we needed to at least get this train in the right direction for a change. So
both very good answers. I'm not surprised at all. So next up, I'll ask, outside Miss April of Cornell Tate, who was your favorite draft pick?
Let me see. I don't know. I just was so focused on him. I really did enjoy him. I did like that pickup. I mean, the other pickups, they were good supportive roles, so I like them as well. But I really did like the pickup of Cornell Tate because it really shows that they're committed to helping Cam.
It's hard to overlook it. For years, we've watched them kind of just like, we'll go with this guy or we'll go with this guy. They never really dove into it. So I get it. Yeah. I'll accept that answer. I will accept that answer. Brandon Knowles, I already know what you're about to say. You're about to say Anthony Hill Jr. out of Texas is what you're about to say.
You actually nailed it because you were 100% correct. Yeah, I like the mystery piece of it. I know there were some takes on there where people are so just, well, I don't know, or they thought it was kind of a reach for him, or they think that he's just somebody who has quite a few flaws that isn't going to be as impactful. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on some of his factors where he can be the Swift Army Knight, like I mentioned before.
No, I'm about it. Look, if they're already talking about him when he came in. Like, he could wear the green dot helmet, which means you call the plays on defense.
Right.
Like, that's huge for a rookie. No doubt about it. Okay. We'll drift a little further back. How did you feel, Miss April, when Cam Ward got drafted last year? Now, I was blown away because I was sitting like trade out. And then we have a quarterback. How did you feel exactly.
As bad as I wanted them to trade back, because I really was
Mhm.
like, there's just not a whole lot in this draft class last year. I wanted them to trade back. I didn't want the Cam Ward Shador drama. I thought that that would
Mhm.
bring a whole different dimension to Tennessee. Once initially the draft was done and they were, we picked who we picked, I really got behind it, and I was like, you know what, I think this is going to be that guy. Sadly enough, I didn't see a lot of Cam Ward's film before, but I started studying it after, and I was like, okay, this is why we brought him in. I could see he was light years ahead of Will Levis, light years ahead of any of the other quarterbacks that we had on our roster. So I was initially taken aback a little bit because I was like, oh, we should have traded back. But that was just like my first instinct. But now I'm really happy about it.
I get it. I felt a lot better when I saw the work ethic. Before I didn't like you. I didn't really. I was sitting there like, oh man, this is gonna stink, And now that it's done, I'm like, okay, all right, okay, all right. I was wrong this time. This time I was wrong. This time, this one
I love
time.
being wrong. I love being wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I want to be wrong. Are you kidding me? Okay. Brandon, I'll give you a little variation on this one. Besides Cam Ward, who was the most important draft pick last year?
You know what? It's important. It makes it makes it a little bit harder. But the one that I actually, if I were to go for my favorite pick out of it, it was actually Helms. I thought
Okay.
him falling where he did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a solid tight end to come in and actually take the role. So I always had questions about Chig, and I know Chig was somebody who could make explosive plays, but he was so inconsistent. So
Right.
that's why it didn't hurt my feelings. We didn't overpay him this offseason.
Right.
Just because I don't want to put money on the books for somebody that's just not going to be that consistent horse that we need. And man, Helms just has that AJ Brown catching ability.
Right.
And I know AJ Brown's a little sour again because he's back with, Mr. Infidelity. So
Wow.
it's throwing
That's
some
not
shade
his
there.
name. That's not his name.
But my favorite thing about AJ Brown when he was a Titan, though, was it always drove me crazy how often we watch our wide receivers jump for the ball and body catch. We could not have anybody
Right.
catch the ball outside their body, and Helms is exactly that. I do think Ayo Manor can also do that as well, but he still has some drop issues there. But I think if he picks that up, that'd be another key thing to have as well. But Carnell Tate is a hands catcher, as we can tell.
Oh
And
yeah.
so that's why I'm excited for him to join into that group. But that's why I really like Helms, and I think he's gonna be somebody to watch.
Okay. Well, both of you are giving me answers to definitely think about. That's for sure. Okay. So we'll move on here. We've all seen the schedule, yeah. Do we have a favorite game on the schedule? Mine is week 1. We go ahead and we get the Salah drama out of the way. The mixed Salah salad of the Jets. And I'm a little hesitant because I did not want a high stakes game in week 1, but apparently we're getting it in week 1. April, do you think playing the Jets was a fun decision to do this right out of the gate at home in front of home?
It was definitely an entertaining one. The NFL knew exactly what they were doing, releasing the schedule after we had hired Salah and everything. I definitely think that, it's going to be an interesting week 1. It is nice to go ahead and get that drama out of the way. And if we can get a win, I think it's going to set the tone for the rest of the season. And I really hope that's what we do. I really hope that's what we do.
Oh God, please, 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 please. Anyway, Brandon, is there a game on this schedule that you are just like, yeah, I want it?
It's actually going to be the Giants game. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for a more healthy team, and it's going to be fun to see this battle of the head coaches because it was down to those two options. And then on top of that, it's going to be the battle of the QBs of seeing, is Dart going to take a second step or is he going to fall off? And one of my favorite things about Cam is it always seems like his year 2 is when he explodes. And so if you look at his stat history, he may not be as good as year 1, but the way this guy learns, his work ethic, and how he's just all ball all day. It really shows in the second year. So I'm excited to see how he's going to explode and how Dayball is going to end up, utilizing his skills and maximizing everything to the full potential.
Okay. All right. You guys are killing it. Outside of our division opponents, be it the Texans, be it the Colts, be it the Jaguars, April, who do you really want to stick it to this year? Who do you want to just absolutely eat it?
Every year I see the Steelers on the schedule. Every time we play them, I want to win against the Steelers. I don't care who their quarterback is, who their coach is. I mean, I just live in a part of town where most of them are Steeler fans, and I just want to stick it to them. And so the Steelers game is one that I'm like, it's the very last game, one of the very last games, and I'm like, I really want to go out and either ruin their chances of getting into the playoffs.
That's plenty. I'm here for it.
That would be great. Another game, though, that will be interesting, going back to the previous question to watch, will be the Jaguars game, and that's in division, just because Robert Saleh and the head coach of the Jaguars have bad blood, and so it's going to be interesting watching those two having to face each other 2 times a year now, and I think that played some of the decision for Saleh to come to Tennessee.
I love it. No, that is a great. I totally forgot. Yeah, I've totally forgot about Jacksonville. I was like, oh, that's right. They have beef.
Supposedly they squished that beef. I don't believe it.
Lies. Defensive coaches don't squish beef. They let it fester.
No.
It burns in their stomach.
It's going to be locker room material. What do you mean?
100%. 100%. Like, everybody's like, you know what game's next week, right? It's the Jaguars, and whatever we do this time, it's going to be, the next time as well. Do you have a game, Brandon, other than the Giants, of course, that you really just want to put the screws to? I'm with her on the Steelers one. I want it bad.
You guys really want to retire Rodgers in a fun way and make that be a final game where we beat Steelers and it's going to be his final game against the Titans before he retires.
45-3, just absolutely just boat race them.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, but my game is actually going to be the Browns. I absolutely want us to just wipe the floor with them because I'm so tired of the whole should have been Shedeur Sanders. It should have been this, should have been that. And then now they just lost Myles Garrett, so that's a huge loss for them. I know they got Versed, and he's a great player, but there is quite a drop-off between Versed versus Garrett, so that's going to be big on their defense. They still have talent, but I'm curious to see how this all plays out. It's a whole new coaching staff again, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Miss April, the free agency had came and it kind of went, and people were scratching their heads on prices. I was just happy to have players. But free agency, do you think it really, really helped this team overall? Do you think that is it Wan'Dale Robinson, the slot receiver? Is he going to be like the key piece to this offense and such? Or do you have somebody else on that list?
Yeah, I think free agency came, and it wasn't about fixing the Titans or fixing the Titans' problems. It was about developing Cam and making sure Cam had what he needed in the long run. I do like the addition of Waddell. I do like, getting some weapons around Cam, but I also like the defensive side of it. They put a lot of veterans on defense, which is great, because, we're going to need those, and we're going to need those in depth. As the season goes on, our defense, we have a defensive-minded head coach. They're going to play really, really, really hard. And so, we're going to lose some to injury and stuff. And so it's nice to see that they kind of stacked that up and thought about that as well. But I think our biggest winner in free agency didn't even come from a move of ours. It came from A.J. Brown going to the Patriots, and it came from Myles Garrett, leaving the Browns. And because now we get to face an Eagles team in week 2 without A.J. Brown. We get to face the Browns without, their top named quarterback. So I think we won in those 2 aspects more than players than what that we brought to the team.
Oh yeah, it definitely affects it. down the road. I people had said, does it? It's not going to change it. It does change. I guarantee you, if the odds were already out, that those numbers would have flip flopped. How much they would have flip flopped, I don't know, but I think they definitely would have flip flopped. Brandon, same to you. The effect of free agency on this team. Is there a particular player you think kind of flips it for you? Because I'll tell you mine. Mine is Myers, right next to Big Jeff. Put him right next to Big Jeff and keep the middle of that defensive line as evil as it can be. But if you have a one in mind, please share.
I'd have to agree. It is Myers. And it's just because giving Big Jeff somebody who can actually have a motor and continue it, that was the problem with Sweat. Even coming out, his weight was an issue, and then he had that injury, and he didn't exactly play the same in year 2 when he had that injury and trying to come back. So it just it was kind of rough. So I understood the move to trade him, and then just having some of the edge. I think having the pressure we have in the middle, it makes the edges not have to work as hard, and I think that gives them some time to groom into being the pieces they need to be. And like I said a few weeks ago, apparently Javon Curse is going to be helping out Femi try and work on his craft a little bit. So maybe we'll get a Derrick Henry effect where, he wasn't doing the best to start, but he had the talk with Eddie George, and all of a sudden he just exploded. So maybe we'll get that same effect. It's not always promised, but I mean, there is a lot to look forward to in that. I think April nailed it, because this draft, this offseason was not simply just, we're going to sign all these people and all of a sudden be Super Bowl contenders. We're building a team, and it's going to take time, but people just have to be patient with the process. You can't just fill the holes like we did with Ran and expect everything to just click. That's just not how it works. It's not realistic, and we see how often it fails more often than not. But that's also why Borgo gets the praise again, is this offseason, the way he structured contracts, the people he brought in, if you look at the age gaps, the differences of their skill, they're coming into their prime more so than not. So I'd rather you pay somebody coming into potential than paying them at the back end of their potential and watching it fall off and hurt the team. So I think April nailed that take.
Excellent. I love it. Speaking of takes, we have on this show, April, we have takes we hate. We don't hate the person, but we definitely hate what they said. And one day I'll have a flashy intro that comes through here and says, "Hey, we take," and something crazy like that. But I don't. So I'm going to stick with this. Takes we hate. Mine is this. To the people saying moving 35 minutes away to northern Indiana from Chicago for your Bears, boy, that is a swing and a miss, because I tell you those people in Chicago do not want to drive 35 minutes to northern Indiana. They want it back in their home state. They want it back in their city. And quite frankly, it should be in Chicago. This is just a horrible, horrible thing to happen. Happy for the people in Hammond, Indiana, who are about to make a buttload of money. Sad for the fans in Chicago that have been there all those years, and just for it to all go away stinks. Absolutely stinks. So to the takes that say it's not that big of a deal, it kind of is. April, do you have a take you hate?
Yes. I hate the takes that are already saying Cam Ward is a bust.
Not even year 2 yet.
And after all of his adversity, he wasn't even supposed. Let's remind people he wasn't supposed to start last year.
Right.
That was never the plan. He was drafted behind Will Levis for a reason. So, and not only that, so he had to deal with switching coaches in the middle of the year. He had to deal with an awful offensive line. Okay, the Rock wouldn't make it back there. It was awful. And just dealing with all of that adversity, but yet you've seen him improve every single week. And not only did you see him improve, you saw how frustrated he was when he didn't improve. And then they're like, "Oh, Cam Ward's a bust." How? How?
Do we not give quarterbacks time anymore? That's my thing. Like, how many? Like, I'm not telling you to hold on to him for 8 seasons or anything like that, but at least give him 3 years to figure it out. You have these outliers like Sam Darnold, who's doing it in year 5 and now has a Super Bowl ring. You have these outliers like Baker Mayfield that had to leave the team in Cleveland and reinvent himself in Tampa. I mean, I think they're exceptions to the rule because I don't think every quarterback in year 5 is going to be like, Eureka, I figured it out. But my point is these guys have to have time, and you've got to give it to them. Brandon, is there a take you just absolutely despise out there?
So I'm actually going to piggyback off of yours. So if people didn't know, I'm originally from Illinois. But so with that, I always tell people this whole move issue, they've been talking about this for years. And between the mayor, between the governor, they should have had this done. And I know there's always the talks of when it comes to a new stadium. I do agree with the people and the citizens saying we don't need to be using our tax dollars to pay for it. I get that. So there is some of that factor, but I just feel like there could have been more of an effort to try and make this happen and keep this team, because that is revenue lost. And it's not like Illinois is gaining a whole lot to them.
No.
They're losing more than they're gaining. And this is a big financial loss for them, especially for the city of Chicago and all the fans there. It does hurt quite a bit. So I definitely hate the take that they're just kind of blowing this off like it's, we're not just going to tax people, but Illinois is one of the highest tax states of anything. So I don't want to hear them use that excuse. They dropped the ball on this one.
For sure.
So again, congrats, Indiana. You got 2 teams.
Right. Who had Indiana having 2 teams on their bingo card? I certainly do not. I did not at all. Okay, let me see. Let me just go through here. Okay. So we did the schedule, we did everything. We'll just do this. You love Tate, April. You love him so much. How many yards is he going to have this year?
I want to see. If I stretch goal, I want to see him have 1,000 yards on a perfect game. In a perfect season. But we got we have DK too, so we got to share the love. And DK is really, really good. He's amazing. That was one of my favorite pickups from the draft last year. But realistically, I'd say he's gonna have probably 600-700 yard season. I think he's really doing good right now in the OTAs. You hear a lot of stuff coming out of OTAs about Tate and the things he's doing. I think he's going to be an easy and quick favorite for Cam.
All righty. Mr. Knowles, how many yards is he going to have this season?
I'm probably going to put him around the 800 mark. I think for the first time, we as Titans fans can say we have mouths to feed. And I think that is going to be the factor that's going to make this kind of hard to reach the 1,000, unless he just absolutely just blows it out the water and is one of those just dynamic players that just keeps getting open. You're going to get the ball, but it's so hard to feed some of these younger players. Like she said, DK has a lot of potential, and I hope they do continue to use him in packages instead of just punt and kick returns. But AO, I think, can make another step if he's given the opportunities. It's going to be interesting to see how Ridley comes back from his injury, if he's going to be the same. But even if he's not, he's still somebody that is a threat to teams. So because of the name. So that alone just gives you factors right there. Wan'Dale Robinson is just one of those sneaky, quick guys who knows how to get open. He may not be the flashiest player or the biggest player, but he kind of gives you the Wes Welker vibes where he can just get open and make something happen with the ball. So there's a lot to actually say, wow, we actually have some talent here. That's not just one player that's really a number 2 playing as a number 1, and then we have a bunch of backups that are somehow being pushed into starting roles. It's about time we finally got some excitement in this room.
Yeah. Speaking of 1,000 yards, you know who gets 1,000 yards every season? Tony freaking Pollard. Somehow, someway, gets 1,000 yards every season. There he is with Spears behind him. There he is with who was the guy last year, Brandon? Who was it? The guy from Boston. Oh, shoot. That guy. Anyway,
that guy.
So that guy. And now here comes Mr. Singleton from Penn State. April, is there any multiverse of madness or anything where Singleton could get on this roster and possibly run past Tony Pollard?
Nothing's impossible. I just think that it would take a whole lot. Now, Pollard, Tennessee has always been a really good run first team. I feel like that's where, they dominate at. Pollard's great at that. And Pollard has also really opened up, been able to, been a pass catch guy, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a good one that you can just pitch the ball off to. And so with those multi dynamics right there, it's going to be really hard for Singleton to do it. I'm not saying that he can't. I just think that it's going to be interesting to kind of watch him earn his place. Because even you had to watch, some of them last year really try to earn it behind him, and it was kind of hard to watch. You're like, why did they put him in when Tony was doing so good? So it's gonna be interesting to watch, especially with Spears, and so we'll kind of see how he comes back.
Yep. I just don't know how many times he's going to get 1,000 yards. It seems like he's not going to get 1,000 yards this year, and somehow he like eclipses it. Somehow he's like a genie, or just turns it on later in the year. I don't know. Brandon, same question to you. If not Singleton, though, like, is Pollard going to get bypassed by Spears or anybody?
So, and the name, I think it was Mullings. I
Mullings.
think that's who it
his
was.
name.
But
yeah,
it was hard too, because on top of him being like kind of this project running back, he got injured and then lost so much time. So there's a good chance that Singleton could beat him out.
Mm-hmm.
I think, just because he is somebody that has limited ability right now with a lot of coaching potential. So worst case, he could be practice squad if you don't make the team. But Singleton's somebody who is a third down back. It's just he had this Jones fracture, and he also wasn't from the biggest school either. So people are going to sleep on that. But there is some high floor potential for him to at least be a backup of some sort. So I think he could push Spears if Spears continues to have these lingering in and out injuries that keep him out a couple games here and there. But Pollard's just one of those where everybody sleeps on him. It's like the dude is just 28. It's not like he's 35 going on 40 or something. You know what I mean?
I know. It's my fault. I perpetuate it every time. Like, how is he still here?
But he just somehow finds a way to make things happen, even behind the O-line. And that was something we always were amazed with Henry too, is they're getting hit behind the O-line, but yet still somehow getting ahead 4 yards. So we'll just kind of see. I think he has a lot of potential in this offensive scheme to really start doing something. It's just our big questions are going to be that center role and the right guard, to see if that's going to be impactful on him or not.
Oh, I see. All right. April, you are excited, I'm sure, for the season start, as we all are, all waiting to be. Are you going to be able to make it out to a game this year is the question.
I am going to try like hell. I definitely know that there's going to be some open practices that I'll be at. And then we always go to at least one game. So we'll try to figure out which one that will be. But I cannot wait to go. Of course, it's the last year in the stadium. So you kind of have to make it out. You kind of have to make it out to like have that nostalgic feeling, because the new stadium's not going to be anything like this one.
Right.
So it's all going to be futuristic. It's going to be crazy. So yeah, definitely can't wait to have this last experience there and kind of see how it is with, and even preseason is going to be interesting to watch. It'll be interesting to watch some of those players like Singleton and stuff in the preseason. And hopefully I'll get to do that from the stadium.
Hey, do it. Go for it. April, thank you so much for coming on. This has been such a pleasure. Thank you. I hope we get more out.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, happy to be here. Hope to get your name out there. Hope to see you on many more Titans podcasts. Hopefully just putting the rest of us hosts to shame, like we usually do. But anyway, thank you all for watching Pigskin Perspective. It has been a treat. We will be back next Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to talk 49ers with our own guest who's a 49ers fan. That should be fun. What a treat. Should be great. Anyway, no, it will be a good time. We will see you guys later. Have a great night.